Lesson 53 will be dividing rational expressions. Now it's going to be very similar to multiplication of rational expressions. Reason being is, if you think about it, when you divide fractions here, we don't divide. We multiply by our reciprocal. So and once you multiply by the reciprocal, then you go ahead, multiply numerators, multiply denominators. Same thing here in this algebraic example. Instead of dividing by 2x squared divided by 5, you'll multiply by its reciprocal. Then you'll go ahead and multiply the numerators and multiply your denominators. So example 5, we have 5a divided by 8, or sorry, 5a divided by 8 divided by 9 divided by 8a. So what I would do is get in the habit of going ahead and rewriting this problem. Instead of dividing here, you'll multiply by the reciprocal, and the reciprocal would be 8a over 9. Now you'll use your same concept yesterday and go ahead and reduce within your problem before you multiply your numerators and your denominators together. So in this example, I can go ahead and actually eliminate an 8 out of the numerator and denominator. So when I multiply, I have 5a times a, same base, add your exponents, so I have 5a squared all over 9. Example 2, same scenario. Go ahead and rewrite it. So I'm going to multiply it in this case by 8x to the third all over 5y. Go ahead and reduce within our problem here, and I can take a 4 out of the bottom, a 4 out of the top, so I'll be left with a 2. I can take an x off the bottom. If I take an x off the bottom, I need to take it off the top, so this will be a 2. I can take a 5 off the denominator, and if I take a 5 off the numerator, I would be left with 3. I can also take a y squared. Take a y off the top, take a y off the bottom. So basically what I have right now, and sometimes it might be easier if you go ahead and rewrite it so it looks a little cleaner. So you have 3y over 1 times the second group here. I have 2x squared over 1. Go ahead and multiply things out. 3 times 2 is 6x squared y, and then your denominator of 1 times 1. So our answer here would be 6x squared y. Same situation here in 7. I'll have 4 over x minus 3. Instead of dividing, I'll multiply by that reciprocal. So this part will be my numerator. And when I move it to my numerator, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go ahead and make this into 2 binomials here. So if possible, so I have an x and an x. We have minus plus. Minus plus would give me minus minus. So I would have 3 times 10, or 10 and 3. Really doesn't matter. They're interchangeable because they're both minus. And then this would be over. Here's my denominator now. 3x squared minus 30x. Well, I look to see what can I factor out. I can factor out a 3x out of that problem. When I factor out 3x out of that problem, I'm left with x minus 10. Next step, after I have that, is to go ahead and see if we can reduce within our problem. And I can. Here's an x minus 3 on the bottom. I can take that off the top. I can also take an x minus 10 off the top and the bottom. So I would have 4 over 3x. This would be our answer here for example 7. Example 8, last one. Again, I would probably go ahead and rewrite this. Now, the problem with this here is I have I might want to go ahead and rewrite this. I might say 1 over, we normally list our variable first, so I'm going to say n minus 3. Those are saying the same thing, positive n, and this is a negative 3 as we have below. So now instead of dividing, I'll multiply by that reciprocal. So here's that denominator that I need to go ahead and convert. See if I can convert this into 2 binomials here. I have n, and this is minus, our trinomial is minus plus, so I'll have minus minus. what has a product of 21? Well, that would be 3 and 10. When added together, they'd give me that sum of b of negative 10. And then my denominator would be n minus 8. Again, reduce within the problem. So n minus 3 off the top and the bottom. Multiply it out. We have n minus 7 all over n minus 8. And this will conclude example 8. This will conclude lesson 53, dividing rational expressions.